I didn't notice it at first. It began as something small, something easy to ignore, the kind of thing you brush off because the alternative is too uncomfortable to consider. A reflection that lingered a fraction too long. A shadow that didn't quite match my movements. Nothing dramatic, nothing that demanded attention, just wrong. I live alone. At least I always believed I did. My apartment is quiet, the kind of quiet that presses against your ears at night. No ticking clocks, no humming appliances, just silence. The kind that makes every small sound feel louder than it should be. That's why I noticed the breathing. Not mine. Slower, measured, almost patient. The first time I heard it, I told myself it was coming from outside. Maybe someone in the hallway, maybe the vents. Old buildings make strange noises. I repeated that to myself until I believed it. But then it started happening when I held my breath. I would stop, completely still, lungs empty, and it would continue. Inhale, exhale, soft, close, too close. I began testing it. Standing in the center of the room, I would breathe deeply, then stop. Every time, without fail, something else kept owing. Not echoing, not delayed. Independent. Like it didn't belong to me. That's when I started checking the mirrors. At first, everything seemed normal. My reflection moved when I moved, blinked when I blinked, nothing out of place. I almost laughed at myself for being paranoid. Until one night, I raised my hand, and it didn't. It was subtle. If I hadn't been staring directly at it, I might have missed it. My hand was already halfway up when I realized my reflection was just slightly behind, like it was catching up. A delay. Less than a second, but real. I tested it again, slowly this time. My arm lifted, steady and deliberate. My reflection followed, but not perfectly. It hesitated, just a fraction, just enough to make my stomach twist. I told myself it was my eyes, my brain, fatigue. But then, it smiled. Not fully, not exaggerated, just the corners of its mouth lifting a moment before mine did. That was the first time I stepped away from the mirror. I stopped looking at them after that, covered the one in the bathroom, turned the one in the hallway to face the wall. I even avoided reflective surfaces, windows, screens, anything that might show me. It helped, for a while, until I started seeing it without reflections. At first, it was in the corner of my vision, a shape standing where nothing should be. When I turned, it was gone, always gone. But the feeling remained, like something had been there, watching, just out of sight. Then it got closer. I would be sitting, doing nothing, and feel it behind me. Not a presence exactly, more like an awareness pressing against the back of my skull, like being stared at from inches away. I stopped turning around. I knew somehow that if I did, I would see it. And I wasn't ready for that. The breathing got louder after that. No longer faint, no longer distant. It matched my movements now. If I walked, it walked. If I stopped, it stopped. Always just behind me, waiting. I tried leaving the apartment. I thought maybe it was something in the space, something tied to the place itself. But it followed me. Out into the hallway, down the stairs, into the street. It didn't matter where I went. It stayed, closer each time. I stopped sleeping properly. Every time I closed my eyes, I could feel it leaning over me. Not touching, never touching, just there, inches away, breathing, watching. I started counting the breaths, mine and the other one. At first, they were different. Then, gradually, they began to sink. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, perfectly aligned, like it was learning me or becoming me. That's when I made the mistake. I looked again. I don't know why. Maybe I needed confirmation. Maybe I wanted to prove to myself that I wasn't losing my mind. I uncovered the bathroom mirror. For a moment, everything was normal. My reflection stared back at me, tired, pale, eyes sunken from lack of sleep. Then I blinked, and it didn't. It just kept staring, smiling, not wide, not exaggerated, knowing. I tried to step back, but my reflection didn't move at all this time. It just stood there, perfectly still, while I stumbled away from the sink. Then it moved, not matching me, not following. It leaned forward, placing its hands against the inside of the mirror, like it was pressing against glass, trying to come through. I ran. I don't remember leaving the bathroom. I don't remember how long I sat in the corner of the room, shaking, trying to convince myself it wasn't real. But the breathing was still there, closer than ever, right behind me. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. I don't know how much time passed before I realized something else. The breathing had changed. It wasn't just behind me anymore. It was inside. Not in my lungs. Deeper, like something was breathing through me, using me. I stood up slowly. Every movement felt wrong, like my body wasn't entirely mine anymore, like there was a slight resistance, a delay, the same delay I had seen in the mirror. I walked back to the bathroom. I don't know why, maybe because some part of me already understood. The mirror was still uncovered. I forced myself to look. My reflection stood there, perfectly still, smiling. And then, slowly, it raised its hand before I did. I tried to move, to react, but my body didn't respond immediately. There was that delay again, but this time I was the one lagging behind. My reflection tilted its head, studying me, like I was the imitation. I opened my mouth to scream. It didn't. Instead, it leaned closer to the glass and whispered something I couldn't hear, but I understood it anyway, because the words didn't come from the mirror. They came from inside my head. Calm, certain, final. I've been waiting for you to notice. I tried to step back. My body didn't move, not right away. When it finally did, it wasn't my choice. It stepped forward, toward the mirror. My reflection smiled wider as I felt my hand rise, slow, unwilling, until it pressed against the glass, perfectly aligned with its own. For a moment, we were identical again. No delay, no difference, just one movement, one breath. And then it blinked. I didn't. That's when I realized something was wrong. Not with the reflection, with me. Because I could still see it, even after I closed my eyes. And when I tried to move away, I couldn't feel my body anymore. Only the breathing, steady, controlled, not mine, not anymore. And somewhere, far away, fading further with every second, I could see myself standing in the mirror, smiling, watching, while I stayed trapped behind the glass.
Where's my face? Just out of time, I'm still here.